Hey, welcome to the episode and thank you for listening. In today's episode, I want to give you some really good dating advice. Some advice that will help you make better decisions when it comes to picking or when it comes to selecting a woman to go on a date with. Now, when it comes to dating, often we have dates that don't go well, or we meet women and we end up spending a lot of time and the outcome is not what we're looking for. And that often has to do with ourselves. We just make bad decisions. There's nothing to do with the other person, it's just you making the wrong decisions. And those decisions, or you choosing wrong, has everything to do with not following a few simple rules or a few simple guidelines. And if you use them, it will definitely help you make better decisions and potentially have better outcomes when it comes to dating. So, the first thing that you need to do is figure out, do you want to date short term? Do you just want to have fun? Then you can just stop the episode right now. Or are you looking for something long term? Are you looking for a girlfriend? Are you looking for a boyfriend? Are you looking for someone to marry potentially? If so, keep listening. Now, once you've figured out if you want to date short term or long term, you need to ask yourself the question, and I'm going to use myself as an example. As a guy, you have to ask yourself the question, what am I looking for in a woman? What do I want from a woman? Okay? And you write it down. You make a list. You write down everything that you want from a woman. Could be anything you want. Now, you have to be honest when you make these lists, or when you make this list. You have to be honest. This list is for you. It's not for anybody else to read or to see. You don't need to listen to people on Instagram, on YouTube, on whatever. It's just you. Be honest with yourself and write down everything that you want from a woman. Okay? All the qualities that you want her to have, all the qualities that you want her to possess. Now, when you've done that, you have to make a few more decisions. And the next thing that you need to do is figure out what qualities, what things are so important to you that you can't live without. Okay? These qualities, we will call them non-negotiables. Okay? So these qualities basically mean that if a woman does not have this quality, you will automatically disqualify her from dating you. Okay? That's what you're going to do. So you write down everything that you want from a woman. Then you are going to make a selection of qualities that you think are super important, things that you can live without, and things that you are not willing to negotiate on. Right? Super important to do that. Now, you probably already do this to a certain extent. Okay? But now, once you have this list, you will live by this list. You will use it as a guideline. Okay, so you make a list and you write down everything that you think is important or that you want from a woman, and then you make a selection of qualities that you don't want to make any concessions on. Okay? Now, the second thing you're going to do is make a list or choose all the qualities that you think are nice to have. But if she doesn't have those qualities, or only has these qualities to a certain extent, you can live with those things. Basically, you're going to make a selection of qualities that you say, well, I'm willing to make a concession on it. Okay? Now, the problem that we have, or the problem that a lot of people have, and that's where it goes wrong when it comes to dating, is the following. We all have a list of qualities that we want our potential girlfriend, our potential wife to have, right? Could be a list of 1,000 things, doesn't matter. And then the thing that we do is we want that woman to possess all those qualities. In other words, we're not willing to make any concessions at all. And the problem is we are being way too strict, and no woman will ever meet those requirements. There is no woman that has all the qualities that we want, unless there's only one or two things that you think are important. Then most women will not fit everything. Okay, so that's problem one. And the second problem is we do the opposite. We say, well, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm cool with whatever. And the problem here is that you will settle for anything. And then when you get in a relationship, you figure out, well, quality XYZ is more important than I thought. This isn't going to work out. You see, the problem isn't her, the problem is you. So you need to figure out what you want from a woman and make a selection of things that you don't want to make any concessions on and things that you are willing to make concessions on. Now, you do need to live in reality, of course, meaning that if you make a list with 100 things that you are not willing to make any concessions on, so 100 non-negotiables, then you will never find that person. No one will fit that description. No woman will fit that description. If you do the opposite, you're not being strict enough, any woman will fit that description, and later on you'll realize that there are certain things that are important or are more important to you than you admitted in the beginning. Okay? So you do that. When a woman possesses the qualities you're looking for, you go on a date with this woman and you see if the qualities are there or not. Okay? So let's look at an example. Let's say I want a woman that doesn't smoke and doesn't have any children. Okay, we're just going to use these two as an example. So for me, it's really simple. Any woman that smokes is automatically disqualified. I will not go on a date with this woman. If the woman has children, once again, I will not go on a date with this woman. Very simple. Okay? Now, if I say, okay, great, I want a woman that doesn't smoke. I don't want her to have any children. I want her to be 28 years old. I want her to live within a 1 mile radius. I want her to have 3 degrees. I want her to be really fit. I want her to go to the gym every day. I want her to be able to sing, and so on and so on. You can already see that woman does not exist. So I'm going to have a horrible time dating because I'm going to say, all women suck. No, I'm just being way too strict. So that's what you got to do. You make a decision based on what you want, based on the qualities that you're looking for. Okay? So figure out if you want to date short-term or long-term. Make a list of all the things that you want from a woman. Then select the things that you are not willing to make any sacrifices on, but make sure you live in reality. Okay? And you make a list of things that you are willing to make concessions on. So let's say I want a woman that is fit in good shape. Okay? Now, I like to go to the gym. So it would be nice if she goes to the gym a couple times a week, a couple times in a week as well. Now, let's say she works out every day. Well, that's great because that matches my vibe because I go to the gym every day. So great. But let's say she only goes to the gym twice a week. That's perfectly fine for me as well. I'm willing to make that concession. I don't really care that much. The only requirement for me is, are you in shape? Are you healthy? Even if she says, I don't go to the gym at all, I don't play any sports, but she is in good shape. Even then, I could say, yeah, it's perfect for me, willing to accept that. I can live with that. But if you smoke, I cannot live with that. Now, the problem is what we often do as guys is if we say we are being too strict, we don't find that person. If we're not being too strict, if we're not being strict at all, if we don't have any non-negotiables, we choose anyone. Okay? The other thing that we do is we have a few things that are non-negotiables for us. But what do we often do? Well, if the woman is really pretty, we are willing to set aside our non-negotiables. We throw our principles right out the window. Basically meaning the following. We go back to the example. So let's say I don't want a woman that smokes. Okay? Perfectly reasonable. Now let's say I meet this woman who has all the qualities I'm looking for, but she smokes. Now I could say, well, yeah, but she has all the qualities I'm looking for. So you know what? I am going to date her. I am going to go out with her and I am going to get in a relationship with her and so on and so on. What eventually will happen is I will be extremely unhappy. Why? Because I've set aside my principles. I've set aside the few things that I really want, really need in my life. And I will be unhappy. I will be miserable. All because I didn't want to hold on to my non-negotiables. And that's what a lot of guys, but also women, quite often do. You know? So that's what you need to do. You follow these rules, you follow these guidelines, and I promise you, dating will become a lot easier. So once again, figure out short-term or long-term. If you decide on long-term, make a list of qualities that you want the woman to have. Make a selection of things that are super important to you that make you say, look, I won't make any sacrifices on that. I will not negotiate these qualities. These are must-haves. And make a list of things where you can say, it would be nice if she has this or if she does that, but if she doesn't, or if she does it only to a certain extent, that's fine too. Then, when you are on dating apps, when you do meet a woman, check in your head, check in your mind with your negotiables and your non-negotiables. The second you find a non-negotiable, stop dating this woman. Don't continue, or don't even go on a date in the first place. You do this, and I promise you, dating will become much easier and you will have more success because you will be matching with women that actually fit the things that you want, that actually have the qualities that you really want. Okay, use it and good luck, and I will see you guys next time.